Have you ever felt like you were trapped in a room with no windows, where the only sound was the echo of your own worries? Have you ever noticed how a single dark thought in the morning can cast a shadow over everything you touch for the rest of the day? Many of us believe we are victims of our circumstances, forgetting that the most powerful world we inhabit is the one between our ears. In a village where the sun usually kissed the rooftops with warmth, Radha walked as if she carried the weight of the mountain on her shoulders. Her home, once filled with laughter, had grown quiet and cold. Her husband had traveled to a distant city months ago to find work, but no word had come. Her children's eyes were wide with a hunger she couldn't satisfy, and her heart was even hungrier for hope. To Radha, the world was a series of closed doors. She saw only the dust on the floor, the empty grain bin, and the gray clouds in the sky. Her neighbors avoided her, not out of malice, but because her despair felt like a heavy fog that clung to anyone who came too near. At the edge of the village lived Grandmother Amara. She was old, her hands gnarled like the roots of an ancient banyan tree, and she lived in a hut that was humbler than Radha's. Yet, Amara always seemed to be bathed in an invisible light. She tended to her small garden with a song on her lips, and her eyes held a sparkle that even the harshest winter couldn't dim. Driven by a moment of pure exhaustion and a breaking heart, Radha approached Amara's porch. "Grandmother," Radha sobbed, "how can you sing? Look at this world. My husband is gone, my children are hungry, and I have nothing. Is the world not a cruel place?" Amara stopped her singing and patted the wooden bench beside her. "The world is a mirror, dear Radha," she said softly. "If you frown at it, it scowls back. If you believe the storm is all there is, you will never see the seeds waiting to sprout beneath the rain. Negative thoughts are like weeds. They require no effort to grow, but they will choke every flower in your garden if you let them. Positive thoughts, however, are like rare seeds. They require planting, watering, and protection." She told Radha a story of a man who once lived in total poverty. He spent every day complaining that his pockets were empty. Because he looked only at his empty pockets, he never noticed his strong hands. He never noticed the fertile soil beneath his feet. One day, a traveler told him, "Stop looking at what is missing and start looking at what is present." The man began to thank the sun for its warmth and his legs for their strength. With that change in mindset, he found the energy to till the land, the courage to ask for seeds, and eventually, he became the most successful farmer in the land. "The change didn't start in the field," Amara whispered. Amara gave Radha a specific, small task. "For the next 7 days, I want you to wake up before the sun. Before you look at the empty bin or the dusty floor, I want you to look at the sky and say aloud, 'Today will be a good day.' Even if you do not believe it at first, say it as if it is a command to the universe." How could words fill a stomach? But she had nothing left to lose. The first few days were a struggle. The words felt like ash in her mouth. But by the third day, as she said the words, she noticed the beautiful orange hue of the sunrise, something she hadn't looked at in months. On the 5th day, she found she had the energy to clean her home, which lifted the spirits of her children. She began to look for small wins instead of big losses. On the morning of the 7th day, a traveler arrived at the village gates. He carried a heavy satchel and a letter. It was Radha's husband. He had found steady work in a distant timber mill and had sent a large sum of money and news that he would be returning soon to bring them to a new home. The news was joyful, but Radha realized something profound as she ran to tell Grandmother Amara. The money was a blessing, but the true transformation had happened before the traveler ever arrived. She had already found peace. Amara smiled as Radha shared the news. The positive mindset didn't just attract the good news, Radha, it prepared your heart to receive it. A hopeful heart sees opportunities where a fearful heart sees only obstacles. The lesson for us is simple but life-changing. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. You cannot always control the wind, but you can always control the sails. If you spend your life waiting for good things, to happen so you can be happy, you may wait forever. But if you choose to be positive first, you will find that the world begins to align with the light you are shining. What seed will you plant in your mind tomorrow morning?